Hi guys, I'm Lillian, the Postmodern Mom. Welcome to another makeup monologue. Today I'm going to talk about why it's great to be a traditional housewife. This video is a response to a tweet that someone had that's kind of like a running theme on some of the tweets and in general when we talk about... Hey, can you stop yelling? Stop yelling. Stop yelling. Whenever we talk about being traditional housewives or tradwives, people suddenly think that they think that people are oppressed, that women who want to be traditional wives, like stay-at-home moms, homemakers, that they are oppressed or abused, or basically the quote was, how cringe is it when a woman wants to be like a doormat? Why do people think that a woman who wants to stay home, not work outside the house, raise her children, respect her husband, honor him, not shame him or correct him or criticize him in public, that's being a doormat? I don't know. So anyway, this is just a little video of me talking about the advantages of being a traditional housewife and why I think most women, and young girls especially, should be taught that being a housewife is an amazing privilege and thing that you are called to do if you're a Christian, that being a mother, a Christian mother, is mentioned in Proverbs 31, being a wife specifically, and a mother. So, I think in another video I'll talk about how I became a traditional housewife, my transition from a feminist mentality and upbringing to now a very conservative, traditional lifestyle. Now, this video will obviously not address my husband's perspective, but just to point out that he absolutely loves being the sole income earner, the one who brings the bacon home, and that I don't have to work outside the home. He was the one who encouraged me to quit my job and stay home. So I'm not talking about this from the perspective of women, you should like force this on your husbands or anything like that, but just talking about like how I came to embrace it and why it's really amazing. The first thing is, that I think the biggest and the most difficult transition in the beginning of my tradwife journey was embracing the role of being a stay-at-home mother and doing the things that I would have relegated to hired help or just done if I had to do it, like doing the dishes, doing the chores, the laundry, and treating that as my primary role is taking care of the house and raising the children. And I found that that transition was the most difficult in my mentality because our culture and society have deemed those responsibilities as lowly and unworthy. And the only way you're going to gain respect in society is if you were to work outside of the home, have a career, make money for your family. So it was a strange time in the very beginning when I first put in my resignation. I stopped being a teacher and decided to be a stay-at-home mom, homemaker. I had never imagined that I would be in that position. I never grew up thinking I wanted to be a mother or that it was even a respectable career, if you will, a role that you would center your life around and your work around. But I absolutely love it because it's much less stressful in terms of competing with men and women out in the workforce. I mean, sometimes it's quite vicious, especially if you want to make more money, if you want to get ahead, if you want to earn more respect, you have to be less agreeable. And women just tend to be more agreeable and less disagreeable. And Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot in terms of agreeableness, disagreeableness, and how that affects your future successes. And he doesn't say that women shouldn't be out working. He just says if you want to be a successful woman in the workplace, then you need to become more disagreeable, because men are more inclined to be disagreeable. But if you wanted to advance in your career, then you need to become more like that, which is basically like saying you need to become more like a man if you want to be successful in the field outside of the home. And I don't want to be that. I want to be more like a woman. And so I think it was in my mentality of treating my newfound role as my job and my career has taken many years. I didn't grow up knowing how to cook very well or clean my clothes, or I mean, we knew how to do our laundry, but it wasn't the same as taking care of our clothes, learning how to get good stains out. I still don't really know how to do that well. Cooking, cleaning, all of these things are kind of new to me. That was this thing here. So, I mean, that was the first thing that I felt like I needed to really hone. But then, in terms of being a traditional housewife, you also learn how to have a better marriage, I think, because you learn that there are different roles in a marriage. And in a traditional housewife role, that you submit and you obey your husband. And this is something that as a Christian I was taught, but I didn't. Are you okay? You're okay? Did you step on your own toy? Aww. As a Christian, women are taught that they need to respect and obey their husbands. But even among Christians, the idea of male headship or male leadership is still a bit blurry for some. I think it's very clear in the Bible that Eve was created for Adam, so the woman is created for the man as a helpmeet, and we were also naturally created with the desire. We were created with the ability to help. We are more agreeable. We're flexible in changing our mind, a bit more emotional, which is a good thing for a woman. And the curse that followed, that was given to Eve, was that she would want to rule her husband. Her desire would be for her husband, but he would rule over her. And that is the thing that we struggle with as women, is wanting to be in control. I mean, this is true for all men and women. We want things our way. We want to be selfish. This is the sin nature of humans. And as a woman, we have to be aware of that as a temptation and fight it. So as a traditional wife, you learn to embrace that role of being an obedient and submissive wife. Clearly, you're not going to let your husband sin against you by abusing you or hurting you. But if he treats you well, and if he asks you to do something that's not against God and not against it's not against God, like for example, oh, I would like you to not have male friends, then as a woman, you should, as his wife, you should submit and obey and respect him. But also, you should want to do that if you're his wife. You know, if you love him, you would want to make him happy and please him. And this is true for parents and children as well, that children obey their parents. Now, I love that I'm not forced to work outside the home and worry about bringing in more and more money so that we can live. And I think that my husband and I are a team, in that I help him with the duties at home so he can focus on his job and his career and making sure that he does make the money that helps us, sustains us. and allows our children to be clothed and fed and sheltered. And that's a great advantage to being a housewife, that I don't have to worry about competing with others in the career field and the money that comes in. Another great thing about being a traditional housewife is that you get to spend time with your children. This is a luxury, I think, that a lot of career-minded women, they don't even realize they miss out on, because they're so focused and they're so brainwashed to think that they need to work. They need to build themselves up. They need to prove it to the man that they're better than them. And they miss out on so many aspects of the relationship that they should be building with their children and the relationship they should be building with their husband. So this is such a blessing that I just happened to fall into, I think. I don't think I did anything in particular to get into this position of being a stay-at-home wife and mother. But I am very, very blessed to have lots of time to spend with my children and to raise them, to teach them. It is quite a blessing. Yeah, another advantage to being a traditional housewife is that you, I think, have a better relationship with your husband. I think your husband will appreciate you more if he knows that you're giving up a lot of yourself by, for example, time alone, by being a stay-at-home wife and mother, because as lots of mothers know who stay home with their children, you don't have very much time by yourself to do things for yourself, and therefore it's difficult. And I think a lot of men realize that too, especially during this coronavirus lockdown, how difficult it is to be with your children 24/7 and not kind of have that break. So I think due to that, men with traditional wives seem to appreciate them more, and marriages are stronger. The chances of infidelity are lower because they feel honored and validated and respected in their home. Most of the time, when it comes to infidelity, it's usually because one of the members, the wife or the husband, doesn't feel appreciated, their needs are not being met. And if you are a traditional housewife, then you have the time and energy to focus on the relationship that you have with your husband, and he's not going to want to find attention elsewhere, because he's going to feel grateful for you cooking meals and cleaning and raising the children, and that you respect him. Most of the time when you see the breakdown of the marriage is because the man does not feel respected or the woman does not feel loved. And this is just straight from the Bible, that says men love your wives and wives respect your husbands. And this, for a traditional wife, this means that you don't criticize your husband in public. Even in private, if you feel like he did something wrong, you try and approach it in a way that's not demanding of him, but respectful still, and say, my concern is for you and for our family, and I'm just a little bit worried about the way this may have come off, that someone might think ill of you, or etc. You don't say, you did this wrong, I'm embarrassed by you. You would not say that. Even in private, it's just does not build that marriage relationship. I'm gonna wear that same thing I've been wearing like every day now. My Max and More matte lip.
What, matte lip?
Matte lip.
Oh, matte lip? Why are you wearing it every day?
I like it. It's a different color than I normally wear, and I think it works with a lot of the clothes I have.
But why are you going to wear it, Mom?
I'm wearing this dress that has the same color on it. See?
Where?
Here and here. It's like that pink color.
But
So,
the lip is much darker.
And then the other thing about being a traditional housewife and a traditional woman is that you get to embrace femininity. Femininity is just expressing a gentler side, also trying to be more aesthetic and reflecting beauty. God created the world with truth and goodness and beauty, and He wants us to embrace it and appreciate it. And as feminine housewives, you are encouraged to embrace your beauty and work on looking beautiful for your children and your husband. And I think it's fun. I think as a woman, you enjoy doing your nails and your hair and your makeup, getting dressed and having nice clothes. And there's nothing wrong with that. And if you don't enjoy that, I mean, as long as that you feel like you look healthy and beautiful in without makeup on, you don't have to have makeup on. But it does enhance, I think, some of the features you may have that make you beautiful. And as a feminine traditional woman, I think that would be something to encourage and not to look down upon. Makeup is not something that you need to look down upon. You just need to know how to use it well. Just like we use our vehicle to drive us places and not run into people or kill people, we should use makeup to enhance our features and not cover things up and make us look like clowns or promiscuous. So I hope that this noisy video has been an interesting video for you. It's just a little... Can you not... Wow, are you counting to 20 already?
Yeah.
Wow. He's not even 3 yet. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below of the topics that you think you'd like to hear about. And in closing, I just want to say, being a traditional wife or a woman or even a teenager or a young girl who wants to be a mother and raise children and not have a career outside the home, you're not being a doormat. This is so noisy. I've got the laundry machine going. Humphrey is so loud all the time. You're not being a doormat because you are choosing this life. No one is forcing you to be a traditional housewife. And for people to claim that you are a doormat just shows that they're insecure about their own lives. Maybe they're unhappy, maybe they're jealous. But there's so much freedom and happiness and joy that comes from being a traditional stay-at-home housewife. And I encourage you to check out more of my videos if you're interested in this lifestyle. And just know that it's a beautiful thing when you embrace the qualities that God has given you as a woman, and instead of rejecting it or fighting it, and that you learn to joyfully submit and obey your husband. It's just a beautiful thing. So if you have any difficulties, I always have to caveat this. If you are in a relationship that you are physically abused or verbally abused, you need to seek help. You need to find help from other men that are strong and good, like your father or your brother. This is also why I'm working on a traditional matchmaking service, because a lot of these women find themselves in a position where they're with an abusive man because they have not been given proper help in determining who would be a good spouse. And I think your parents are great advisors in general. I mean, if you were raised with two parents in your home and they are still married today, they probably know something about how to identify a good prospect, a good possible spouse. Modern arranged marriage is where the parents help you decide who to meet and who to kind of court, and if you're unhappy with that, you don't have to go through with it. That's what modern arranged marriage is. It's basically like a dating service that your parents are involved with, and I think that will help with our marriages today last and not end in divorce. Arranged marriages are known to work. They have a lower divorce rate than love marriages, and I think that's because parents do know their children quite well. Especially parents with a traditional father and mother who have seen them and have a good relationship with their children. I think I just gone off a tangent, but basically The traditional housewife life is a good life, and I hope you enjoy my videos, even though he's so loud. Thanks for watching this video. Bye! I think there's such a joy in keeping a good home, in watching your children grow up, in cooking and cleaning and supporting your husband.